Back at it again with the white vans.
Man. Well, listen, in last week's episode, we talked about, what did we talk about last week?
I don't know. We talked about what is non-audio podcast. Explaining non-audio podcasts for a year and a half.
Explaining disappearing. For at least a year.
Welcome. We are so excited you're joining us. If you're hearing this for the first time, first off, how'd you find us?
Yeah.
That's question number one. Number two, if you knew us before we were famous.
And then we gave all that up.
We gave it all up.
So quickly.
Gave up all that fame and glory and views, listens, whatever. And, we decided the best way to grow a growing podcast is to quit doing it.
Crush it.
Kill it completely.
If you quit, people are not going to be able to find you.
That's what Michael Jordan found out, unless they go to a baseball game. And so there we go.
He's doing
By the way, that was a great comeback. What should we talk about today, Neil?
Wow, we should talk about comeback stories.
We really should. I'm Tyler, and
my name's Neil.
And we're so excited you're joining us for the Explain Everything podcast. But more important than Tyler and Neil is an intro by Joseph Tilley. Joseph, hit him with that intro game, boy.
What does this sound like? Oh, that's right. It sounds good.
Sounds good. Sounds so hot right now.
Well, we're talking about comeback stories, greatest comebacks in history, and welcome to season 2.
Season 2. They're like the most seasons. We're like Stranger Things. We take a year and a half hiatus.
Oh yeah. And then people come back and like, wait, what?
What happened?
Which, by the way, they almost finished production on season 4.
Okay. Is that the last season, or are they gonna do more?
I think they said this has finality to it. What's the dude's name? What's a big hairy bearded boy?
Hairy bearded boy.
John Goodman. No, not him. No, what's the name? David something or other.
Hagrid.
It's not Hagrid, but the one dude who plays the one dude in Stranger Things, the one guy. I don't
the
wanna
one
give any
from
spoilers.
the movie. He's in Russia.
Yeah. What do you?
Hey, are we explaining ostracizing our audience? Is that what we're explaining today?
Anyways, they're making another Stranger Things, and they're almost done.
So excited!
So, greatest comeback stories of all time.
Comeback.
So we've been on vacation for a little while. We went on holiday.
We used all the money from our Patreon to go on a year and a half vacation.
That's actually not bad.
I mean, we're getting there.
We had $17,
and we lost all of it. Every single person withdrew their Patreon.
In the Uber ride to the airport for our vacation, we ran out of
everybody.
But we are back. Tyler and Neil explain everything. And what can they expect this season?
Bigger explosions, more features of The Rock.
Oh, for sure.
That actually is a guarantee.
We actually have there's a segment.
There's Explain Everything guarantee. More The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Mm-hmm. I'll probably talk about sports cards at some point because moderately obsessed. We need to explain. Good thing we took off the past year and a half because nothing of importance happened in the past year and a half.
We weren't going to take off, but things got so dicey. I thought we're not touching any of that. We made a big list of what we could talk about, and there was nothing on it.
No,
everything.
But we are going to talk about all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. Absolutely.
100%. Well, we should. We're going to talk about greatest comeback stories. So pandemic hit, all that other kind of stuff hit. We moved because we did explaining how to start a church.
Yeah, and then Neil started a church,
and then we should do one on how to shut it down because we did that. COVID. Well, it's all right. We went to Columbus. We were there for about a year and a half or so, and then we're back.
Man.
So back in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Back at it again with the white vans. Mm-hmm. And Neil's actually wearing white vans in honor of that vine, which we can't talk about because there's a cuss word before Daniel's name. Oh, what are those dudes doing now?
I saw a TikTok about them.
Did you really?
I saw a TikTok about the guy who went to school with him, and he was the guy that they talked about. Yeah.
Okay. Are they doing okay?
Dang, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel's fine.
Okay, great. He's still wearing them white vans? I bet. Didn't he get like a lifetime supply from Ellen or something?
He did. Yeah.
It's like,
forever.
Ellen, you knew I was going to have to wear these forever anyways.
The one thing I don't want to wear.
The one thing that I'm going to be screamed at for the rest of my life.
Thanks, Ellen.
Thanks, Ellen.
Speaking of being done, Ellen's done.
Is she?
Yeah, this is her last season.
Last season.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's done like 19 years or something is what somebody said. I don't think that's true.
Maybe she's setting up for a comeback.
No.
There it is.
We should give them the Cliff Notes. What can they expect?
Cliff Notes. What can you expect today? Well, let's give the Cliff Notes of what is a comeback. Okay, so they're are multiple versions of comebacks. You've got the ones that are like set in real life. You've got things like Michael Jordan, he leaves basketball, then comes back and wins 3 titles. Yeah. You've got all these different things that happen in real life, whether sports, I think, is a popular one.
It's the number one.
Number one most popular. That's what people think of. But there's plenty of them. Nick Cannon in Drumline. Actually, pretty much every movie ever has a main character who starts off good,
it's a hero's
does
journey,
poorly, and then comes back. A hero's journey. Man. And then comebacks are also popular with regards to the comedic community. If you will,
you're right.
Neil.
Yeah.
If you will, Neil. That's what they used to call you in 10th grade. If you will, Neil. If you will, Neil.
If you will. Big deal, if you will, Neil.
Man, we just jumped right back into the Neil nicknames, didn't we?
It's good.
OG listeners,
there's a lot. There's historical. There's like just in history, whole countries have had comebacks. There's actors that they've hit rock bottom and come back.
I thought you said Kid Rock at first.
Kid Rock
I
is not.
Did he?
Make it.
Fun fact about him: he was ball with the ball to bang ding. Okay. We want to joke about Kid Rock, but in all honesty, name one other artist who could literally have a hit song called "Ball with a Ball." BAWITABA. It's not even a thing. Like, it's just gibberish, and he made millions off of it.
Man. Where is he? Has anybody checked on him?
I think him and Sheryl Crow still looking for pictures. Isn't that the song they did together?
Yes.
I found your picture today.
They're still looking for him.
There are 2 songs that transcended every genre. That song.
Whoa.
I mean, yeah, because they can play it anywhere. Yeah. Rock. It's Kid Rock. It's literally in his name. Sheryl Crow. Country. Everybody plays it. Pop. The other one, Gone by NSYNC. Wow. Baby girl, you're gone. They played it on everything.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything.
I wish Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow would cover that song.
Would cover that song.
Oh my gosh.
And Justin Timberlake would just be dancing in the background.
But he has the curly hair.
And then at the end he goes, Dirty Pop.
And that's the Cliff Notes of what a comeback is.
It lasted about as long as we're like, we're going to have some organization this season, Neil. We tried our best.
We made it 7 minutes.
Our best. Okay, so we would give you the history of Cliff Notes, but that's, or I say history of Cliff Notes, that's not a thing that people say.
Well.
We would give you the history of comebacks, but there's, I mean.
You know what it is.
I guess he knows. He knows. So instead, we're going to skip to the next section. We're working out our sections. So in the chat, there's not a chat on podcast.
Nope.
In the reviews,
after
you give a 5-star review, tell us what sections should we do. That's not what you're supposed to ask the audience. Well, this is called Spiral Downward. That's what I'm doing right now, Neil.
Explaining.
I've been out for a year and a half of podcasting.
Shame spiral.
Okay, so we're getting to a new segment. This is called. Have you ever played in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we played in a lot of those
every Sunday morning.
Every Sunday morning
for the last year.
That's
why
that's
I'm
where
back.
you've been.
Yeah,
I'm sitting in the studio waiting on
Make
you,
and bang.
pining over you, and you just go play your 3-on-3 basketball. So we're gonna play 3v3. This is where you give 3 comeback stories, I give 3 comeback stories, and then we decide a winner of who had the best comeback stories. So Neil, you're the most smartest out of both of us, so you start us off.
You're going with that. I was like, I'm the most. Oh boy. 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers.
Why would you start with that? You want to know why we really quit? You bring that up.
Because we disagree about it. Was one. Okay, so I'm a Cleveland Indians fan. I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan, and they both had collapses. I mean, when the Red Sox beat the Cardinals, I mean, it was bad.
Question: why are you a Cardinals fan?
My grandparents lived in St. Louis, so we traveled there every year. I went to a bunch of games.
I wasn't going to allow it, but now
it's all right. I'll allow it. The 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers are down 3-1, and they mounted a comeback that was.
Here's the thing. I love the Warriors. I love LeBron James. Yeah. Great, but Steph Curry's like my guy, and I was all in, and I was excited. That was the best regular season of basketball in the history of like they literally were the greatest
they beat the
team.
Bulls record of.
They beat the Bulls record. They had 9 losses, right? 83 wins, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was 72 wins, 9 losses. Is that the amount?
72 is the amount. Yeah.
So it's like you're just agreeing with me. I appreciate it.
No, I do. I 100% know it was 72. I didn't know how many losses.
Okay. Well, they went in and. They had the best regular season of all time. Remember, and the Warriors were depleted going into the playoffs. They were down 3-1 to Kevin Durant in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah. Wow.
I know. And then they had a comeback, and then LeBron James and them did the comeback. What do you think triggered the comeback from LeBron James? What made him go superhuman? What made him go Space Jam?
So I did hear, I heard a story the other day about, and it's not necessarily in that one, but at least in that final game, so Ty Lue came back and had an absolute verbal, he tore into LeBron at halftime. LeBron led the team in points, in scoring, in assists, in rebounds, and everything up to that point in that last game. And Ty Lue ripped into him. And he was like screaming at him in the locker room. LeBron James left the locker room. He was furious because he said, you need to do more. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm leading in everything. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you need to do more. He's like, it's not enough. And they were screaming at each other. LeBron leaves. He's the first one out of the locker room. He's out on the floor shooting, and something snapped in him. And everyone who's played with LeBron or coached with LeBron has said that no one has treated him like that ever. And it snapped him out of whatever he was in. He was like, I'm doing the best I can, but I can't carry everybody. He's like, no, you have to carry everybody. Now, in that game, I think I know what the turnaround point was. Just the block shot, I think, was it.
Yeah, that's going to be his iconic moment.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Yeah,
that's going to be his moment.
That was pretty amazing.
Unless he gets to play with his son and they win like a championship or something. That might be something.
Oh, my gosh.
That would be sick, right?
Dellavedova is probably MVP. Should have been the whole time.
Is Dellavedova not his son? I'm sorry. I thought that was his boy. He treats Alex Caruso like he is his boy. Oh, my gosh. Free Alex Caruso.
Yeah. That was just incredible. I mean, I'm a Cleveland fan. So they made a documentary on HBO called Believeland. And then after that was done, they made another one where they added on to the finish of it because prior to it, up at that point, they never won anything. And then they did that. So, yeah, that's sports. That's Cleveland. Whatever.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary that was really popular over our break, over our hiatus.
Uh-huh.
The Lost Years. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
Call it the Lost Years. Sorry. I'm really choked up about talking about this. The Last Dance. Michael Jordan's been sitting on that footage for like 2 decades.
You're right. Oh.
You know when he released it?
Yes.
Is during the parade, during the Cleveland parade, whenever he was thinking LeBron's going to be the GOAT. And he's like, nope.
Remember me?
Yeah, that's a comeback story.
Oh, my gosh, you're right.
Which helped bring back the entire sports cards industry, which we're going to talk about later, I'm sure, at some point.
All right, what's yours? What's number one for you?
Number one, see, it's not number one.
It's one of three.
One of three.
Okay.
I mean, don't call it a comeback, Neil.
Uh-oh.
The song by LL Cool J, Don't Call It a Comeback.
I've been here for years.
It's like that and Mama Said Knock You. I think Mama Said Knock You Out came after that. Like, don't call it a comeback, and then he punches you in the face.
Yeah.
Because Mama said knock you out. That's really all I've got on that one. LL Cool J. Talk about rebranding yourself. Like him and Ice-T. Was it Ice-T? That was like in Law & Order SVU that just explains the plot every time he brings up. They're like they're afraid the audience is too they're afraid the middle-aged white women who watch this show are going to get confused. So let's have Ice-T come in and rephrase the plot and make it simple.
It's this
so that Charlotte Tarver knows what's happening.
It's in the credits.
It's in the credits of the greatest movie ever made.
So LL Cool J, is he in he's in one of the is it CSIs? Is that what he's in? Like CSI Los Angeles? No.
He was in SWAT, which is a movie that they turned into a show that he wasn't in, but he was in one of the CSIs. Yes, he was.
But I don't know which one. There's like 10 of them.
CSI Cool.
Is it
Jay?
CSI Cool.
Cool Jay.
All right, you ready for number 2?
More than anything.
J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
I mean,
explain it. I'm a Harry Potter fan.
I know. I was bringing that up because I thought you would absolutely dig this one. But if you think
but I just don't know where she. Because here's
the deal. Struggling, as a mother, trying to work her way through everything, and nope, not enough.
Neil, I have a question.
Okay.
What constitutes a comeback? Like, do you have to be successful, fall, and then come back?
So she wasn't successful.
But she was a teacher. And then she was like dirt poor.
Well, so I was thinking on the financial side of it, right? I was thinking of the poor
so she came back
and homeless and all that kind of stuff, right? I'm thinking that, but not as far as status.
You know, one year she made $10,000 a second.
What?
If you average out how much money she made, there was one year back whenever like the movies were coming out and she had another book or two coming out.
No.
Or the main book, I think it was the 7th book. She made $10,000 a second.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
That's what we made in season 1. And you walked away from it, Neil. You walked away from
your back on it and
free
left.
Vacations to Cancun.
Man, that's crazy.
I know. That's wild. Thank you for using that. What else? Tell me more about JK.
That's it.
What's your favorite moment from Harry Potter, Neil?
I have not watched them.
Yeah, I know. I love everything about you except for one thing. Let me tell you what it is.
It's these two things. your first one and your second one about greatest comebacks.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I got.
Okay. I wanted to say every Disney movie ever. That was an honorable mention for me because every Disney movie ever. It's
they
like
all have one.
It's never like, oh, this rich kid who's really good at the sport and he's on the number one team. His last name's Banks and he just wins it all. No, it's always like we're a ragtag group of blah blah blues. Who is the rich, successful, talented, always winning person supposed to connect with in a Disney movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who did you connect with, Neil? Now that I speak, now that we're just
wow. That's hilarious, though. Wouldn't it be funny if they just stopped one of their movies that way? Like, at the downturn of it, and it just, like, credits roll?
They did.
What?
Little Big League. Do you remember? It's about the kid who his grandpa owned, like, the Twins, and they were the best team in the league. Or, no, the worst team in the league. And then they lost, and then the coach did something, so the kid became the coach. And they fought their way back, got to the playoffs, spoiler alert, then they lost. It's like the only Disney, I think it was a Disney movie.
94.
It was the only movie I could think, one of the top 3 movie years of all time. We need to talk about that sometime.
94?
94, 99, and 2019. 3 best movie years of all time.
You ready for this? It cost $20 million to make it. It made $12 million at the box office.
Yeah, but it's got a second life. We're sponsored by Little Big League. Go check it out on
to our
VCD. Buy it on eBay.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Retro Rick selling DVDs on his website. Go check it out.
Oh my god.
Go check it out. So I was going to go with every Disney movie ever.
Yeah.
I thought about Steve Jobs. Was it Apple? Got fired, came back. That's a great comeback story.
Yep.
But instead, I decided to go with Grover Cleveland.
Well, okay. You don't see that coming.
What do you know about Grover Cleveland?
I mean, he was a president.
Yeah. Fun fact, I was going to type in a question earlier in Google. It says, it was, why did Grover Cleveland? And I was going to ask, lose the presidency? Because he was a president, lost as an incumbent, and then won again. Okay. When you memorize the presidents, you always have to say Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, Grover Cleveland. He's the only president that's ever lost and came back and become president again.
Really?
It was all over tariffs.
That'll never happen again.
The fun fact is when I searched to Google, I said, why did Grover Cleveland? I was going to say lose the election.
Yeah.
It filled in marry his daughter.
What?
Tyler lost his train of thought, went down that rabbit hole. Turns out it was just a really young chick who was visiting, and he got married. I think her name was like Frances. I don't know how to say her name correctly. Frances
Cleveland.
She was the first person to ever give birth in the White House.
No way.
It's a fun fact. Doesn't have anything to do with all the comeback stuff, but it's a true story.
Is that his daughter?
No, it's just a really young lady. Like he was like, I think she was like 27, and he may have been president. I didn't read that much because you were like, well, we got to start, Tyler. It's a year and a half. It's been a year and a half, Tyler. Just screaming in my face, spitting in my glasses. And, but here's the deal. So Grover Cleveland was president. Then there was an issue with tariffs. He lost the presidency. Then he ran again. Came back with the same platform and then won and beat Benjamin Harrison. And a lot of people didn't want Benjamin Harrison to run again. He did and lost, okay? Now, fun fact. We talk about currently Joe Biden is the 46th president. Is that correct?
Right.
Something I learned off TikTok, which we need to do and explain everything to that. Hey, TikTok, what's up, baby? Joe Biden, we say he's the 46th president. That means that Grover Cleveland, he's not. He's the 45th president. Because Grover Cleveland can only be a president. Like, he's one. Right. But we count him twice.
Oh,
it's like we skip a number because
we
we add him an extra number. So, fun fact, every president you hear, like, there's something 40-something president. He's not. Mark it down one because you're counting Grover twice.
We should explain numbers and how counting works to people.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, whenever I ran for treasurer of student council, that was my
your
joke.
Platform?
My platform was I can count. I was giving a speech for the whole student body, and I go, I should be your treasurer because like I can count to like 100. That's what I said.
Not I can count to 100, but I can count to like 100.
I did to 100. So the end. Sorry, Neil, I'm ruining our first podcast. This is why you left, isn't it? This is why you left me.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Is that why we're doing this?
Yeah.
Just now clicked. Just now clicked. What's your next one?
Jesus.
That was my third one. I didn't put it on there because yes, that's why I skipped those other two because I was going to say Jesus.
You're messing
I'm dead serious. I promise. Why would I skip the only two you can see? I want to surprise you. Okay,
it has to be Jesus.
Explain it.
Oh my God.
Why?
Well, you want to talk about? I mean, literally came back.
Yeah.
From the dead.
It's incredible. What about Lazarus? Why don't we give him some respect? Put some respect on his name.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Hey, how many people did Jesus raise from the dead in the Bible?
3.
Yep.
Because you
Three.
just told me.
Three.
Himself, Lazarus.
There was Lazarus. There was Jairus' daughter, and there was
That's
another.
right.
There was
The daughter. Was that the Roman soldier's daughter? Is that the okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally Jesus. That's a great. I mean, you can't do a best of without. Although it's funny though too is most searches, if you go search him in that, he doesn't show up. Like why?
As a comeback
Yeah.
story? Well, I think he probably gets enough press. I mean, literally, it's the best-selling book in the history of the world. In the history of the world.
It's Jesus.
It is. Is it me, Jesus? It's like one of my favorite TikToks ever. It's for those people that I don't want to ostracize while Neil is getting ready to say the next thing we're going to talk about.
Don't run from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Because it's a TikTok where it's like Jesus is meeting with all of the disciples at like the Last Supper, and he's like, "One of you will betray me." And Peter goes, "Is it me, Jesus?" He goes, "No, it's not you, Peter." Is John? "Is it me, Jesus?" "No, it's not you, John." And Judas goes, "Is it me, Jesus?" And Jesus goes, "Is it me, Jesus?" Oh, it's like one of my favorite TikToks of all time. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's good. That's
So
a good one.
All right. Well, you stole my last one.
Wow. Well, that's why we're doing this. So when you think about comebacks, you're thinking about comeback stories. You're thinking about sports and history and people down and out on their luck. But also, what you can have is a witty comeback.
Oh.
And like one-liners. Like somebody says something to you.
Yeah.
And like, okay.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're right.
Does that count?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's another good one?
Well, anything my dad says on vacation, because he's in rare form.
Oh, yeah. He's on performance.
vacation. And he's one of his favorite things when somebody passes him in the car, he would yell, "I'm so sorry, Dad. I know you're not listening." He would roll his window down and yell. He goes, "You in a real big hurry to get up there and stop?"
I say that to people too. I say that too. I was like, "Oh, cool! You're gonna be 10 feet ahead of me in 20 seconds. Congrats!" Oh,
it's just like he has those sayings. One of his favorite ones is when we would lie to him. Like if he's interrogating all the kids, he's got us lined up like the Von Trapp family singers, and we're all there. He goes, "All right, and who did this? Whatever." And somebody would lie, and he go, "I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night." Nice try. He isn't Southern either. I don't know why
he
he did
say
that
in that
voice.
accent?
No. I don't know why he does
okay.
that.
I was
No.
like, wow, that's cool that he becomes somebody.
Just mixing up genres there.
Gosh, the greatest act of our time. Your dad.
No, it's not. What are some witty comebacks that you've thrown out there?
Oh my goodness. Neil, I wasn't prepared for this question.
Is it me, Jesus?
Is it me, Jesus? I mean, that's a comeback, right? That's a comeback. It's funny, like now. Okay, so here's my thing. I saw something the other day. It was like, what did guys joke about before memes? And it's like we sat around and did Anchorman quotes. And so it's like movie quotes were always like your comeback to stuff. Like you would do like Austin Powers or Anchorman or Dodgeball or whatever.
Yep.
And you would come back with that. Now I feel like, and it's not a comeback. It's just like or comeback's just like a fancy response, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, my response is always I speak in TikToks. Like that's become my platform of choice now.
Yeah.
And so
but
now.
what if they don't get it? What if they don't have the?
I don't
that's
care.
on them.
That's on them. That's their fault for not being culturally relevant.
Right. Jerks.
Rural juror.
Rural jerk.
It's hard to say.
One
Culturally
of the
relevant.
best 30 Rock.
That episode.
Rural
So
juror.
good.
Yeah, it's difficult. To say.
Rural juror.
I saw somebody said this yesterday. They said, you look like you just walked out of an air fryer."
They walked out of an air fryer.
Look like you just walked out of an air fryer. I'm like, was my face? Is my hair? Is it what? I don't know.
One of my favorite comebacks because I live in Central Arkansas, and I my wife picks out my clothes. Like I don't care. I don't have time for that. And she'll pick out clothes, and sometimes they look like, oh, I'm like, those pants are a little tight or that, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
And you walk by, and some dude who's been wearing the same thing since 1992, he'll say like, "Oh, what's wrong? Couldn't like you have a hole in your pants," and you're like, "Oh, you got a hole in your pants? Couldn't buy the whole pair of jeans?" Blah blah blah. And I just say. I was like, my comeback that I like to use is like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I would have bought that outfit off Kmart from 1984 that you're wearing, but you got them all, I guess." So
they bought all of them.
Yeah, they bought all of them. They bought all of them.
This past year, during COVID and all that kind of stuff, how there's some people that like everybody disappeared for a while, but then all of a sudden they show up again. They hit social media, they hit whatever, and there's like, oh my Lord, what happened to them? Like I think about Zion Williamson is one of the ones where you're just like, oh, dude just worked out for a full year by himself.
Yep.
But there are also some people that didn't do great. They came out, you're like, oh.
Yeah, Val Kilmer, what happened?
Oh, no. He looks like melted ice cream. Does he not? It's the worst. You're like, what?
Yeah. Andy Samberg said that to on a roast one time. He was talking to, what's that Ross guy that always does roasts? He goes, why you look like a melted hippopotamus. It's like my favorite line ever.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
That's a good one.
I didn't make it up.
There's, we want to do Will It Rock? Is that a thing?
How do we think we should. So
explain this.
Okay. Well, we explain everything, Neil.
Eventually.
If you're ever confused, it's because you weren't listening. Because we are amazing explainers.
Sorry about last year.
We're both certified teachers in the state of Arkansas, and we're teaching you everything.
Wow.
So whenever
school's in session,
school's out too long. Sorry. Okay. So Will It Rock? We're looking at adding some sections, and we have the idea. We had the idea at the same time. We literally complete silence for a year and a half. We both said, "Will it rock?"
That's
and
what brought us back together.
This is what it is. The idea is, whatever topic we're talking about, we want to know, would it be better or worse if it involved Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Wow.
I know, man. So here's the idea. With regards to this little, was it arbitrary? Is that the term? I don't know. Who cares?
Seems right.
Who cares? We've lost them by now.
Nah.
So, Will It Rock? Comebacks. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, fun fact, he made a comeback.
Oh.
He was destined for the NFL. He played at University of Miami.
He had a fanny pack.
Yep. He was dominating in the sport of NFL. Then he became a performer, went to nothing, had zero. He talks about how he had like, what is it, $5 in his pocket. That's all he had. Yeah. Started doing wrestling stuff, became like the biggest name in wrestling as a performer. And then how many wrestlers are you like, oh, wow, they're a great actor?
Yeah, no.
Almost none. And by that
John
I mean,
Cena.
Well, except for that one Hulk Hogan movie. And then John Cena. John Cena.
Yeah.
My kids say that, and they have no idea what they're talking about. They just saw it on they saw it on the internet. They just yell, John Cena. And we don't usually, even when they do get into movies, we're like, okay, we know what we're getting into.
Yeah.
The Rock has actually become like, from, what is it, Escape to Witch Mountain or whatever it was he started with, Tooth Fairy.
Oh, God.
Started there.
Tooth Fairy's horrible.
It's real bad.
It's so bad.
My kids have watched it 93 times.
It's a Disney comeback story, by the way.
It really is. He is theirs. And now he's literally in or produces everything.
You're right. Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, yeah. He's got several movies this summer.
So, Will It Rock?
Man. So I wonder if we were to look at our 3 favorite comebacks and ask ourselves, how would it be better if The Rock was involved in that?
Jesus.
In the 2016 Cleveland Cavs, probably not.
No.
J.K. Rowling and any of the Harry
he could have
Potter
replaced
stuff?
Tristan Thompson in that series and been fine.
Man.
Okay, J.K. Rowling?
Yeah.
I want to give a hard no to that. I would not have
Could you
been
imagine
obsessed
him
with him.
in any of the...
He's a character?
Hagrid.
He would have been legit dope as Hagrid, okay? That Hagrid they put in the movies, anybody could have been better than movie Jenny. Yeah. Sorry, Bonnie Wright, okay? So he would have been better than Jenny. He'd have been better than, like, the new... Both Dumbledores were, like, not very good. One of them was super, like... he didn't know where he was.
Well, he was really old.
He was on the last one. And then I got a fun fact about him, but I've already ruined this podcast, so I'm not going to tell it. The new one, it's like he's too much. Like, there's a scene where he like runs in, and in the book, it's like he walks up and he patiently asks Harry, he's like, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
No.
In the movie, he runs up to him, grabs, goes, Harry, did you do it? And it's like, what is wrong? Like, it's not his character, and this dude's like overacting like he's trying to win an Academy Award.
Thinks he's on Broadway.
Yeah,
and I'm like, in the back row.
I'm like, get out of here, mister. So, no, he wouldn't rock there.
No.
What about LL Cool J?
That's not bad.
I mean, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I could say
I can see that.
Grover Cleveland.
He runs against Grover Cleveland. Wow.
I think he'll be. Whoa. I think The Rock will be president someday. I legitimately think either The Rock or LeBron James will be president someday.
This past year, how many people wanted Oprah? They wanted The Rock. Matthew McConaughey, isn't he running for the governor?
Is he? Texas?
Texas, yeah, he's going to. He's talking about it.
I would love that. I love Matthew McConaughey. Did you read Green Lights?
I did not.
Green Light? No, it was really good. Do the audiobook. It's fantastic.
Is it him reading it?
Yes.
That's
why you have to do it. Huh?
Can I *2 speed?
Oh, yeah. You can talk real slow, Neil. I'm going to slide on into this voice. Slide on in.
Well. All right. And then Jesus, I don't think. I don't. I mean,
if he had the same superpowers.
Whoa.
Could you see I can see this. If The Rock brought Lazarus back, he's going to brag about it a lot more than Jesus did.
Oh, my gosh.
Jesus didn't talk about it. He's just like, yeah, what up? He like snapped the wrist and walk away. But, The Rock would have been like holding him up, like, yeah, like power cleaned him, like Lazarus.
Or like the Last Supper. He's breaking the bread. Can you smell what this fresh baked bread smells like?
This is my blood. And he grabs Judas and just smashes his head on the table.
Oh, we're going to get struck by lightning.
Yeah.
But it will rock.
It will rock.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. We did it, Neil.
I think we did it.
I think we had, I wouldn't say this is one of our best episodes, not even one of our top 10.
But it's the first one.
It's the first one of season 2. And I'm excited we're here.
Welcome to season 2. We're back. We got some really cool stuff in store for you guys. Some treats, some snacks.
Some Scooby snacks.
Some chippies.
Then we're going to give you a stimmy. Stimmy is going to happen. Stimulus. Sorry.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Well, we did it. We'll see you next time.
Really
you want to tell them what we're explaining next time?
I don't know. We haven't discussed it. What are we explaining next time? Is it TikTok or basketball cards?
Well, it's whichever one. Either one of those two.
Can we do both? Can we do a TikTok? I don't know. Baseball cards?
You have a TikTok.
I say we do TikTok. TikTok next, and then we'll do cards.
Okay.
Unless we don't. You know what?
Yep.
We are.
You never know. We may never be back.
We must see in a year and a half. Because did we tell them we were going to take a year and a half hiatus? We didn't. We just disappeared.
We just disappeared.
Explaining starting a church, which is our most downloaded episode of all time.
Yeah.
Either that or diabetes. Anytime you talk more, we do better.
Explaining going into the Bermuda Triangle for a year and a half.
A year and a half.
All right, guys.
Hey, thank y'all for coming to my TED Talk.
Looks like we made it.